Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing fantastic and that you're all having a great day. As always, when you leave a like, when you try to leave 2 likes but the first one doesn't work, when you leave a comment, when you leave a second comment, or when you subscribe, all of these things do help out the channel immensely and are very much appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Bitcoin all set to hit $50,000. These altcoins may be the best bet in Q2 of 2022. I'm not going to go over the actual altcoins, but it lists them as Zilliqa, Rune, Mana, Luna, and I believe FTM is Phantom, that they may lead the altcoin race in Q2 of 2022. The entire market right now is incredibly optimistic. It is a very nice feeling simply because I knew, you knew, we both knew that prices should not have been as low as they were for a very long time. And as I've always said it, there is nothing stopping us from actually hitting previous all-time highs and even going further than that, as we've seen since last November. It's only been since November. Isn't that insane? When Bitcoin's price hit its previous all-time high and the rest of the market was going nuts, massive amount of accumulation has taken place since that date, and therefore there's even less of a supply of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies actually on the market. It says Bitcoin gearing up for a strong rally, according to a top crypto analyst. Here's his target. His target, spoiler, was $48,000. No, yeah, was that it? Yeah, $48,000 for Bitcoin. And we actually just hit $48,000 per Bitcoin about an hour or two ago, somewhere around that time frame. And he said if we can hit $48,000, the next target by next week is roughly around $58,000 per BTC. It says Ethereum price analysis. Ethereum gains pace above 3,000. I think it's around 3,300 something or other, near $3,400. Ethereum has its own little gravitational force around it because we keep getting closer and closer to the actual merge. Once again, historically, what we have seen many times for any network that has had an upgrade, I don't care if it's the XRP ledger getting something, if it's Bitcoin updating, having Ethereum, whatever it might be doing at that time, it's always the same. As we get closer and closer, the price of said asset begins to jump and continuously jumps, and usually does its craziest jump about a week or two before the actual upgrade happens. A lot of the people outside of the cryptocurrency space who are simply trading these coins, who don't understand what the actual upgrades mean or do, they're trading based on speculation. The price ends up skyrocketing, and usually the day of said upgrade, prices fall about a good 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12%, depending on how much liquidity the coin actually has. It begins to go down. Everyone thinks, well, that was a weird run up. It happens every single time that people don't understand that it's simply just outside forces moving the market further up. Based on speculation, the price falls. A lot of people exit their positions, and then the price ends up going up and up and up. And a lot of the people who left the market try to get back into the market. And that's when we will see probably the $14,000 Ethereum somewhere mid 2023. That's my guesstimate. But I believe that Ethereum's price is moving up by itself simply because of the speculation towards the upgrade that is going to happen. It says XRP nears 90 cents resistance as market remains under bullish pressure. Technical analysis, Ethereum approaches next breakout. Why Ethereum might surge even further. I mean, if the rest of the market, if Bitcoin continues going up, it's going to go up. If this upgrade is going to happen and speculation around it is going to be that, you know, the 1/10 of the issuance rate and the transaction fees are going to collapse, and we're going to be able to completely make Ethereum only if you have Ethereum. All of these things are going to cause the price to, I'm actually surprised that it hasn't even gone up even further or higher than Bitcoin currently is percentage-wise, but I guess that's for another time. Technical analysis, Bitcoin saw key technical breakout. Big reaction from bulls imminent. I'm actually quite shocked because it did end up taking place. You might all remember, I spoke about this, it must have been yesterday. It's fresh in my mind, where I was just saying, we heard from these analysts for so long that Bitcoin needed to pass by $45,000, $46,000, and we've done it. So now's the moment of truth. Can we hit 50? I think we can. We can definitely hit $50,000 by the end of this week. If we didn't, I'd be actually kind of shocked. I'd be like, whoa. But I think even by the middle of next month, a $55,000, $58,000, $60,000 Bitcoin is not out of the realm of possibility, especially with all the accumulation. Once again, it's very important that you understand. I mean, it's basic supply and demand. The demand increases every single day. And as I mentioned before, and I know a lot of people probably rolled their eyes as I was saying this last year, don't forget, there's still 3 companies that we know of who are accumulating. What is it? I think there's 900 Bitcoin created per day by the machines. We know that there are 3 companies who are each acquiring 900 Bitcoin per day. And that's besides the other companies who are also in the news, who are constantly accumulating as well. But I think you get the point. On top of that, another very key metric, CoinShares data revealed on Tuesday that institutional investments into cryptocurrencies are at the highest levels in 3 months, a sharp rise from the previous week, which saw outflows of $47 million. A digital asset fund flows weekly report, revealed that investment products for digital assets saw total inflows of $193 million last week, a level not seen since early December 2021. The last time investment levels were near the current figure was in the week ending December 3rd, which saw $184 million worth of inflows. You look at 2 major things when you see, if you want to see the supply and demand kind of index flowing. It's how much cryptocurrency is being taken off of exchanges, how many of the long-term wallets have been accumulating, i.e. they take it off of exchanges and put it onto their wallets, and the other one basically being the inflows into funds, such as Grayscale or, the 15 other spot physical Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs that are around the world that we know that exist, who continue to accumulate more and more money without us forgetting that one Canadian ETF has over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin in it. And that was months ago that we got that information. It says as 2 of the largest cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum, have made solid moves over the last weekend, breaking past crucial resistance. As Bitcoin continues to make strong gains, its long-term holder accumulation has reached the highest level, as per data from Glassnode. Furthermore, as Bitcoin gives a weekly close above $46,000, its short-term capitulation seems to be over. Data from, where is it? Pretty strong, citing Bitcoin trading at, I don't have to read through all of this. The basic idea being the whale addresses that we've seen before who were accumulating, and I kept on trying to tell people in earnest, hey, look over there. Look at what the rich person's doing while they're telling you not to pay attention to the market. Those same exact people are buying up even more cryptocurrencies than they were before. And these actual, what I think people forget sometimes is that the actual whale addresses or the long-term holder addresses, these are different, if you will, air quoting there, different from the institutional ones, because the institutional ones tend to be like bank funds or hedge funds. Like we tend to know which addresses that the accumulation is actually happening to for reasons with the SEC, yada, 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 all the transparency kind of stuff. The other one has to do with people who've been in the market since 2011, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We can tell, hey, that address activated on the 1st of October, 2017. They've only been accumulating cryptocurrencies. There have been no sells or movement outwards from that actual address. So these wallets continue to get larger and larger. And this is a very big metric that people should be following. But I think a lot of people tend to just look at prices to say, oh, well, the market's not doing well. No, the market's doing extremely well. And it's doing even better for people who have continued to accumulate this entire time. I think there's a chart here. Yeah, there's a chart here to show the actual accumulation from Glassnode. Also tying into this as well, on the 28th of March, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index jumped back into greed for the first time in nearly 4 months. The last time the index reached the current position was when Bitcoin was at $69,000 per coin on the 10th of November. This seems like a millennium ago. It does not seem like this, what was it? January, February, March, 5 months ago? 4 months ago, excuse me, that Bitcoin hits, that's really, it seems like so much more time has passed since then. The crypto economy has surged in value during the last day, jumping 5.4% to $2.26 trillion. Here's the market thing right there. For the first time since November 16th, the week that preceded that date, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index has once again reached the greed position. On a daily basis, the index analyzes the emotions and sentiments from different sources and crunches them into one single number. For those of you who didn't get the where they're getting the sentiment from, it's usually no, it's not. It's not more than usually. It is. It's AI and bots that they use on different websites. They usually use on Twitter or on Reddit to gauge the actual sentiment of basically what people are writing. If the entire day is filled with people writing, "Let's go! Yeah, I'm so hyped! Can't wait for this! I'm stacking! Man, this is amazing! I knew it was going to happen." The AI analyzes all of this as people are not getting greedy, but you know, they're ready to buy more. Everyone's ready to make some money. However, if the posts are, "It's not going to happen, not today," "Man, I don't think so," the market then will look like it is acting negative. So it's basically just AI constantly reading all these things. I don't know if you remember, this was a couple of years ago. We were discussing the amount of bots that people use for cryptocurrency daily trading. And I think a lot of people were surprised to figure out that once again, it's just AI doing it. Of course, you know, the bot is going to be trading on certain things, but a lot of people don't realize that these bots also can read the news. Surprise. So what ends up happening is they basically tell them a bunch of news sources to read from constantly, or even from Twitter and from other places, and they gauge to see exactly how the market is feeling. And the robots will actually trade based on that information. The other really crazy part is that now you see this article, like there's an article in front of us. You see how long the actual article is. Boom, gotcha, cool. This may take any human generally, let's say 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes to actually completely read through, look at the charts, analyze them. Oh, wow, you know, like you look at all the numbers, what they pertain to. A bot can do that in a second, like in a fraction of a second. I watched someone talk about it before on some like YouTube documentary video. And they basically said when an article pops up, the AI reads it in a split second and it starts trading automatically based on the news that it read there. So at the same exact time humans go to read this information, it takes us a couple of minutes and then we go and we start panicking. We open up the other website, we enter in our password, we try and find the thing that we need to be able to make the trade that we want. But at that point, the bots have already traded it hundreds of times between themselves to make tons of money. Isn't that weird to think of? That they can do something millions of times in the time that it takes us to read something, open up a web page, enter in our password, and figure out exactly the one trade that we want to make. Crazy, right? Here's the actual fear and greed index right here for Bitcoin. Usually people tend to get a bit afraid when it enters the extreme greed. This is still relatively normal. It's not anything to be fearful of. It's just simply that everybody wants to make money. And I think there's this sentiment flowing through the air that I think we can all feel, that we know that prices should be a lot higher. But I mean, that's also just me. So yeah, that's all the price news. Everyone's quite optimistic. I've been optimistic for a very long time. Let's see where the rest of the week takes us. I assume if at any point over the next 2 to 3 days we end up passing by a $50,000 Bitcoin, I think we'll begin to see a new tumble of people re-entering the market. All the people who got in very quick, hoping for Bitcoin to hit $1 million overnight, who left the market when Bitcoin did not hit $1 million overnight are going to re-enter the market in hopes of Bitcoin going over $100,000. You know how it goes. That's just a typical market cycle. Yeah, that's all the price news. And let's move on. In popular news, and I'm not really sure why, on Friday, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said during an interview with CNBC that cryptocurrencies are an innovative payment option and have various benefits to users. She said crypto has obviously grown by leaps and bounds and is now playing a significant role not only so much in transactions, but in investment decisions by a lot of Americans. There are benefits from crypto, and we recognize the innovation in the payment system can be a healthy thing. This is a surprising reversal, very surprising, from the Treasury Department. Last year, the Treasury did not support changes to the massive infrastructure bill, making crypto tax reporting expensive and difficult for everybody, imposed crypto sanctions to slow ransomware, as well as issue several warnings that digital assets would weaken the U.S. economy. So this is news, I believe, for a couple of reasons. A lot of people have turned optimistic because she said something relatively nice about the cryptocurrency space. Here's what I think. A lot of people who are not in the space usually confuse crypto with digital currencies and central bank digital currencies. I would assume that the Treasury Secretary for the United States has not flip-flopped overnight and is suddenly in love with Bitcoin. I assume she's talking about central bank digital currencies. That's just my opinion. And that the idea was that before they kept on lying and saying the U.S. is not going to have a central bank digital currency. We're not going to have any digital currency when they know good and well that they're going to do it. So watch out for this news because this was quite popular because everyone was like, oh, she likes crypto now. This may lead us in the right direction. Also watch out. I don't have it in this video. There's an article floating around talking about once again that Biden is going to destroy the cryptocurrency market. No, stop it. That's not how it works. I don't understand why people are so susceptible to immediate fear over nothing. I think there was a proposal to actually properly tax the cryptocurrency market at like one base level as opposed to it being all over the place and people simply not having an idea of what it is. I think the proposal was 30%, which is, in my opinion, extremely high. But backing away from that, people were talking about how this would be detrimental to the market, how this would be so blah, 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 blah. I do not think so. I think people would still simply trade. These are similar rates to if you trade stocks and bonds. There's also like long-term holdings. If you've never traded stocks and bonds and mutual funds or had other assets, there are different taxation rates. If you hold an asset for over a certain amount of time, your tax rate tends to go lower. This is why also, still in the story, people have simply been moving to Puerto Rico and many other places that have a 0% tax rate. All the options are out there to you. Anyway, there's so much, and this happens all the time. It's always this kind of, the market's doing too well. Let's release some really weird, scary, negative news. Joe Biden is not sitting in an office right now like Mr. Burns looking for a way to destroy the cryptocurrency market. He's like 99 years old. Like, I'm pretty sure he's thinking about prunes or something. Didn't mean to make a mean joke, but I'm just, there are other things at hand, especially with the other stuff happening right now around the world. Anyway, that's the Janet Yellen news. Yeah. Let's move on. Here we go. Here's the most popular news story of the day. Grayscale CEO, his name is Michael Sonnenschein, said the firm is gearing up for a legal fight if Grayscale's Bitcoin spot ETF is denied by the US SEC. You heard that correctly. In an interview with Bloomberg on Tuesday, Sonnenschein was asked if he would consider the Administrative Procedure Act, or the APA, which is a lawsuit option, if the application for its Bitcoin spot ETF was denied by the regulator. He said, "I think all options are on the table," highlighting the importance of continuing to advocate for investors. The next decision date for the approval or denial will be the 6th of July. It was previously delayed in February. It was originally filed in October of 2021. Where do I begin? Usually what happens is when someone applies for an ETF through the US SEC, it's not done by random secretaries in the office. You actually hire tons of lawyers who know exactly what the SEC requires, exactly what the law is, because it takes money to actually file all of these things. Don't forget that. That's another thing that I think is a bit sketchy through all of this. All of these filings, the US SEC has been making a good chunk of change with these mega companies trying to get these things passed. And every single time the SEC goes, we have to think a little bit more about it. Can you give us until February? Oh no, February's here. We didn't have the time to review. Can you give us until the 6th of July? It's a bit fishy, and it keeps happening over and over and over. So, as you pay all this money to get all of these lawyers to write all of this paperwork to file to the US SEC, you know for a fact that you've ticked off every single box. Check marks everywhere. You know exactly what they want, what they need, and you give it to them in the form of paperwork. And they look over it over the last 7 or 8 years and they go no to every single one that's been pushed through. Part of the problem is, at this point, a lot of other people are beginning to speak out on it. Do you remember when Charles Hoskinson had that mini rant over what the SEC was doing to Ripple? Because I think at the beginning, it was more of a, look at that, Ripple got in trouble. And now it's like, wait, maybe the US SEC is... No, they couldn't. Could they be corrupt? No, that's not possible. They're meant to actually help US consumers. So, I assume this has been spoken about many times behind the scenes, but now we're actually hearing about it. It says the Grayscale team has been putting the full resources of our firm behind converting their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, their flagship fund, into an ETF. It's really important that investors know that we have and will continue to advocate for them. You might remember, this was a couple of months ago, where the US SEC allowed for public opinion for the conversion of the fund or the trust or whatever into a Bitcoin ETF. And that was one, I think it was 2 videos where I was even asking a lot of you, hey, go tell them how you feel. It's open for public opinion. You are the public. Tell them exactly what's going on in your mind. The SEC opened the charges proposed by Grayscale to public feedback. The feedback received by the regulator showed that 95% of respondents supported the conversion, according to an analysis taken in February. I promise you, this is not going to happen. And they're going to make some other weird excuse. They're going to say that the market's not ready, the market's not so-and-so. I saw another YouTube video, I don't know where it was, and I sat there, I chuckled for 4 seconds, and then, it really hit me like a heavy wave. They said, isn't it a little weird that the US SEC has said for years now, the reason why we don't have a Bitcoin spot, Bitcoin and or Ethereum spot ETF is because the market would not know how to react. And they don't mean the crypto market, they mean other world markets. It's not strong enough, there's too much so-and-so, too much volatility. And they said, isn't it a bit odd that there are 15 other spot Bitcoin ETFs around the world and those economies haven't collapsed? If anything, they're doing even better. If anything, their stock exchanges and those companies who launched these ETFs have been doing extremely well. What is it about the US SEC behind the scenes who is paying them to make sure that these things don't actually get through? Don't forget, I'm pretty sure there were hundreds, if not low thousands of respondents who actually were writing to the SEC in February to get this pushed through. They don't actually care about public opinion, and they never will. They believe that they have all the power, and therefore anything that happens will be when they say so. That's how it works. I'm not expecting a Bitcoin ETF until around 2025. I think we will see a $250,000 Bitcoin before we actually see a Bitcoin ETF. But at that point, the market will have evolved so much that it might not even care about a Bitcoin ETF. And at the same exact time, other people in other countries will have gotten richer, while US investors will become sour because they realize that they should have also had a fund as well. So the major news story of the day is the light indication that they're thinking of potentially taking legal action, because 8 years is just long enough. That's the Grayscale potential US SEC problem. I assume on the 7th of July we will probably know very well if this is going to happen. I don't want it to happen, but I want the US SEC to be held accountable for their nonsense, if I can say that. I would love to stop talking about Bitcoin ETFs in the news, because it's been since 2016 now that I've been talking about these. But at the same exact time, I kind of want a court battle. This is me, because I want the documents to be placed out there for the SEC to explicitly have to say, we were paid off, we didn't want to push it through, we simply didn't want one in the market, so that everyone can see exactly the kind of regulators that they are, because we know something's up. Why has every other country been able to do this except for the US? That's the Grayscale US SEC news. And yeah, let's move on. And to finish things off, on Monday, here's some really big news. On Monday, the 28th of March, the Terra Foundation added another $135 million worth of Bitcoin to their holdings, taking their total Bitcoin purchase from the year 2022 to more than $1 billion. Let me repeat that one more time. Remember, we were talking about Luna a couple of weeks ago. Luna announced that they wanted to acquire billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. On Monday alone, they purchased $135 million worth of Bitcoin in one day, and now hold more than $1 billion as well. Terra has pledged that they want a $10 billion Bitcoin reserve. One company. I know I'm screaming. It's for you to pay attention. Speaking to Bloomberg News, Do Kwon, the founder of Terra blockchain, confirmed the same. Data shows the address belonging to the Terra Foundation purchased a total of 27,784 Bitcoin. Only 21 million will ever be made. 27,000 Bitcoin. If you add on the actual other two zeros, I believe that comes out to around 2 million people on the planet, 2.7 million people on the planet who will never own even 0.01 Bitcoin. Remember that? If you divided Bitcoin evenly amongst everyone on the planet, how many would you have? Everyone would have 0.03 Bitcoin. If one company purchased 27,784, how many people does that knock out of the market from ever owning any Bitcoin? This is why the accumulation is so important. I know that prices are amazing, but if you look at the actual accumulation numbers, the whales, the rich people, are gearing up for something. We are going to see the world's first trillionaires on this planet because of cryptocurrencies. If you even think about it, a lot of other times, if you've ever watched Hoskinson, if you've ever listened to Garlinghouse, Vitalik talking about Bitcoin, they all believe in Bitcoin. They have their own coins and they have their own blockchains. Do you think that Vitalik doesn't own Bitcoin, or that he's not buying some more Bitcoin? Do you think that Garlinghouse going on CNBC talking about that Bitcoin is a great, innovative, yada, yada, that he also doesn't? You have to hedge your bets. You simply don't only own the thing that you've created. You own about 5 other ones just to make sure. These are very wealthy individuals. Do you think that Brad Garlinghouse owns half a Bitcoin? Or is it more likely that he maybe owns about 1,000 Bitcoin? No one ever pays attention. It's always just the news that's in front of us that everyone takes literally for face value, and they go, wow, that's a lot of Bitcoin for one company. It's crazy that no other company on the planet is doing the exact same thing. There are thousands of companies who are accumulating tons of Bitcoin every single day. And this is a coin company. We all know what Terra Luna is. Imagine the Ethereum Foundation. Imagine the XRP Ripple company also accumulating in the back, because they know and have indications from the banks that Bitcoin might be near 50,000 now, but it could very easily hit $500,000 in about 10 years. Last week, Quan said that Terra has $3 billion that's just sitting there and ready for Bitcoin purchases in order, and this is all going to just simply back their stablecoin. Imagine how much they're going to buy to actually back other things to have in their treasury. I'm trying to bring it home. I bought the horse to water. I'm not calling you a horse. It's just simply the analogy. And please drink. I don't know what else to, like, this is insane. Do you understand? Terra Luna is not that old. Terra Luna is not a coin that's been around since 2012. This is a relatively new stable coin project. $3 billion ready in funds for Bitcoin purchases in order to back their stablecoin. As per the Bitcoin addresses on the Luna Foundation Guard, it started buying Bitcoin on the 26th of January. It's almost the end of March. Imagine how much they're going to have by August. And that is just Terra Luna. I speculated for a while. I thought that even the people from EOS were also buying up. When they made $3 billion from their ICO, if you will, I was like, I'm sure a lot of that's flowing into other investments. They're not simply just sitting on $3 billion going, this is nice. I like sitting on my ledger. It's it's great. They're using that money for other purchases. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time here. However, the point is, yes, Terra Luna alone in one day purchased $135 million worth of Bitcoin. They have $3 billion ready to go. And they want a total of $10 billion at least this year. Think of all the other companies who are doing the exact same. If you get it, you get it. If you don't got it, there's not much more that I can say. Alrighty, that's the Terra Luna news. Let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. GBU Wally, Bubble Mode, How's Life Austin, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on. Empire Queen, Fud, Wiser, Roman Gaba, Bitcoin, Ben Arachno, Dave, Tony, Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plump Tomato. Where am I? There we go. Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay, The Dealer's Den, Mo Barazi, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grelay, Lauren De Silva, Quarter Biddy, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Pat Ternasser, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyo, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Anima Reader, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick. There's like an eyelash in my eye. Oh my gosh, please go away. I can't see anything. Okay, it's gone. Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cody 3D, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Quarter Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, and Crayola Michelle URL. Thank you all very much for your continued support throughout the years. I do appreciate it very, very much. Thank you to everyone who left a like, left a comment, left 2 comments, left multiple comments, or has subscribed, if you are still here, type in the words, "I'm paying attention," because I do hope that you are. At the momento, Bitcoin is currently at $47,462 US. It is up by 12% over the last week, 1% in the last 24 hours. There's a little beautiful looking chart right there. Ethereum is up by 2%. Anything else crazy? Cardano's up by 2%. Wow, Cardano's up by 29% in the last 7 days. Holy guacamole. Terra Luna is up by 9% and 7% right now in the last 24 hours. Solana is up by 22% in the last 7 days as well. Avalanche is up by 5%. Polkadot is up by 14% in the last week. Dogecoin is up by nearly 19% in the last 7 days. That is quite spectacular. Shiba Inu is roughly the same. Kronos is up by 19% in the last week as well. The weekly charts are looking pretty good. Yeah. Waves is, geez Louise, how is that possible? In the last 7 days, Waves is up by 45%, but today it's up by 50%. I'm like I'm missing, wouldn't that extra 5% be factored into the last 7 days? I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.